Good afternoon, everybody. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Morning Glory, the afternoon edition. I want to talk a little bit today about a couple of things. One, I want to talk a little bit about the Fresno Monsters, the last two games on the road, and of course tonight as they take on the Ontario Avalanche for their last game before a nice 3-week break or so, before the final few games of the season and then into the playoffs. Also want to talk about last night's friendly with the Fresno Foxes and a lesson that Uchenna can give all of us. So, how are these two things connected? Stay with me on this. Joe DiMaggio was once asked, and this is one of those, did this really happen, who knows kind of things. But Joe DiMaggio was once asked later in his career, why on a triple did he run so hard when the Yankees are way in front and he slid in hard and ran hard and digged hard, and he said, maybe somebody's never seen me play. Now, people love, there are conspiracy theorists, there are rumor theorists, there are all sorts of things. Sometimes these things are based on fact. The Fresno Monsters have won 12 games in a row, they've lost 2. Their first game against Valencia, as their play-by-play person, Nick, has said, Valencia's played them hard all year. I believe Fresno Monsters have the better team. They lost in overtime. It happens. Puck didn't go their way. Shot didn't go in. Effort was there. Last night against San Diego, now again, there are people who are supposedly sick, and I say supposedly they are. They're sick. Like any other team this time of year, all you got to do is go to work, and you'll see people at work coughing it. So there's a lot of that going on. Second period last night was not exactly the Fresno Monsters' best, especially on the road. Sabres had a lot to play for. If you follow Redmond's wrap-up at night or Redmond's Morning Glory, you know we spoke about this. That seeding, for that second, third seeding, the Sabres feel they still have a shot. Plus, they want to send a message for when the playoffs commence, when the playoffs begin. So, what happened in the second period last night? Game got away from the Monsters. And again, we talk about all the time about when you point the finger, 3 get point back. What did you do as an individual? Don't blame anything else. If you blame anything else, it's gorilla dust. You're just looking for excuses. How could have you done better? Whoever you are. And if you can analyze that, John Wooden talks about it all the time. And all you gotta do is read his books. If everybody in a team game, if you focus on what you have to do, not who's there, not who's not there, not anything else, not how you're feeling, but if you just kind of focus on what you need to do, good things tend to happen. It's a team game made of individuals, and John Wooden would always stress, if you look at his pillar of success, his pyramid of success, and I suggest anybody go down to UCLA and walk those halls and you feel the ghost of John Wooden. Focus on you. And that doesn't mean selfish. What do you do in your position? When do you pass? When do you make sure you don't take penalties? So, what happened last night? The second period, the game got away. Try to rally back in the third, too much. We had a goalie change in the second. So now there's 2 in a row. The world's going to end? No. You don't forget about it and move on as much as you don't carry it with you to the next game. So when people say, forget about it, move on, what they mean is you don't carry the negativity. You learn from it, you move on. So tonight against Ontario, I fully believe that the outcome is really in the hands. I mean, of course, Ontario, Avalanche won to win, but the game is really in the hands of those players on the Fresno Monsters. If you want to play like a team by making sure every shift you play, every time you're on the ice, you are putting your maximum, not only effort out there, physically, but mentally as well. If you handle everything you need to do and the game doesn't go your way, you just walk away. I've been around too many professional athletes and many of the different things that I've done in my past. Sometimes fans, they don't understand, well, why am I more upset than that player? Well, because the player understands, like, what happened that game, it's over, you move on, you think about it, and you move on. So, what does this have to do with Uchenna? Actually, a lot. So last night I was fortunate enough, FHT, we continue to grow. We're in many different places. With Mike Hodges and myself, we were over at Uchenna Park for the first friendly. Remember, exhibition matches, a lot of ways are just called friendlies. For the USL Fresno Foxes, their second season. We expect some good things. And there are different ways that a head coach or a manager can go into an exhibition game or a friendly. Playing the LA Galaxy 2. If you were watching our Twitter feed last night or our social media postings, or maybe during the halftime actually it was the second half when I went on the air and we kind of talked about the first half of the match, and we were very, very, very fortunate to catch Christian Cheney's beautiful header. Absolutely glorious. It was like an explosion with a wonderful pass by who? Uchenna Uzo. Now, why is he so important? Because, and how does that relate maybe to the Fresno Monsters? It relates directly to the Fresno Monsters and to anybody else in life. Uchenna Uzo is trying to make the Fresno Foxes. He's what's called a trialist. They brought 6 or 7 players. In fact, they started 4, a few midfielders and a forward last night. These are people with no guarantees, and they're just trialists. And it's one of the many reasons I love soccer, because it calls it the way it is. Now, normally during a regular game, there's just a limited number of substitutions, but because it was a friendly, it was in the rain and everything else. So it's in the rain, and but you have these trialists who are here trying to make a difference. Now, Uchenna Uzo opened up some eyes, at least to me. I didn't get a chance to speak to Adam Smith. Yesterday he was mic'd up in the locker room. I didn't get a chance to speak to him. I hope to speak to him soon. We spoke to him many times in the past, because what he did was he started these trialists, put them out there in a fire. So here's the thing. You're trying to make, for those baseball people, AAA. And that's where the Fresno Foxes are. For you hockey folks, the Fresno Foxes are AHL. They're the Stockton Heat. AHL, right there. So you're trying to make that team. Are you giving up an opportunity? Are you giving up an opportunity? Or every day you're looking to make an impression, doing your best? And that's what happened with Uchenna Uzo yesterday. The man was a force. Beautiful cross pass. And you see it on the video. Go to our video, FHT Sports, first half recap against the LA Galaxy. About 3 minutes in, you'll kind of get to see it. And the beautiful thing was he didn't rest on his laurels. He played shutdown defense as a left back on his side of the pitch. Shutdown, veteran type defense. You think maybe he got the attention of Coach Adam Smith? Now, does that mean he's going to make the team? I don't know. But how many people, as we get to the playoffs, oh, I'm not going to make the NHL. Oh, I feel like I'm being disrespected. All right. And I'm not saying that's going on. You hear some of these rumors, and that's why I ignore the rumors. That whole laundromat conversation stuff. Just focus on those things. Focus on the intangibles and focus on the tangibles when it comes to winning ball games or hockey games. If you think you're doing your best, well, I'll tell you one thing. Uchenna Uzo yesterday did his best. He had an opportunity. Who knows if he'll ever be invited back prior to that. And it's raining. And there's not a lot of people at the Chuck, though there was still more than enough. And Firehouse was there in full throat, and it was very loud. You're going to give up an opportunity to make a team like that? You're going to give up an opportunity to just play? My late father, you guys would have loved him. He had this old saying, don't let things live in your head rent free. If you don't own it, if you don't pay rent to it, why are you thinking about it? Why are you bringing that stuff onto the ice if that's what you're doing? And if you're not feeling well, understand, chances are the person in front of you is not feeling well as well. It's this time of year. So you can't unscramble an egg. You can't unscramble an egg. Meaning, yesterday is done with. Learn from it, you move on. And stop with the blame game. Don't blame this, don't blame that. Oh, there's, whatever. What could you do on the ice every single shift to better yourself and better your team? In that order. Because if you give the best of yourself, your team benefits. That doesn't mean selfish play. That doesn't mean throwing an elbow. That doesn't mean I felt disrespected. It means playing hard. Think Uchenna Uzo. Here's a guy, a trialist. You are defined. Let me show you something. I keep looking down. These spots, these little asterisks, you are identified basically as a tryout player. You're a trialist. You're a trialist. So, what does that mean? That's like in NASCAR racing when you have the yellow stripe on the back of your car. Look out, it's a rookie. And you come in and you do your best. It's raining, you had some people probably laying back. I made this team. Well, did you really? You're laying back? Understanding, I think Del Campo had an amazing game last night. Amazing match. In fact, Mickey Daly's goal, because I need glasses. At first, I thought it was Del Campo. And Mickey Daly had a great play. He played very, very well. And Jamie Chavez, watching him, want to see more? It was really nice to see him in action last night. Kaffa did real well as well. Christian Cheney, I'm telling you, this man has some hops to him. And his header was like out of a cannon. And Uzo just laid it so nice. And what's beautiful about that is these guys have really never played together. Sometimes there's symmetry when people play together for years. So, my expectations. I want to see what Uzo does next. I want to see how some of these trialists do. I thought C.J. Cochran did more than fine in net, but there wasn't a lot of action for him. Sam Howard had some saves. One goal in. See some more out of him, as well as this tandem seems to be what Adam Smith would be going for into the season. Killer Kaminsky, 3 weeks, trading deadline coming up. And remember, the perception of pressure is the reality of pressure. If you put pressure on yourself, you're upset about the world. You put pressure on yourself, I might be traded. You put pressure on yourself that you're a victim. You put pressure on whatever the case may be. Perception becomes reality. Or, you know what? I'm Uzo today. Nobody expects much from me except myself because I know I'm really good at what I do. Doesn't matter if I'm traded or not. Doesn't matter if I make the team or not. Doesn't matter if I know people or not. Doesn't matter if my friend was traded, my friend left, somebody's coming in, somebody's coming out, changed up my lines. I used to be a starter, now I'm not. I used to be a midfielder, now I'm playing a striker. I used to be a 9, am I a 10? Who knows? When you get out there and you can perform, you need to perform. This is Darren Redmond for FHT Sports, Redmond's Wrap-Up Afternoon Edition, brought to you by Cigar Masfino. Let us know how we're doing. Give us some comments, likes, some shares. Look forward to it. Excited about the opportunity that the Fresno Monsters have tonight against the Avalanche, and then we have the training deadline and a 3-week break, and we come back to it. Want you guys to arrive home safe. Wet roads out there, and you got Fresno and the surrounding areas rooting hard for you. Adam Smith, great job yesterday. Team looked in where they should be, even a little more, and a lot going on today. Men's basketball. See what goes on there as well with Fresno State. Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap-Up, brought to you by FHT Sports.